Syntax and teaching techniques. This is the graded activity number 4 and my name is Elsa Angelica Montes Leon and my teacher is Lady Adriana Vivanco-Vives. In this opportunity, I'm going to explain the importance of syntactic linkage in coherent communication and describe the syntactic linkage of number, person, and gender. The syntactic linkage it refers to the morphological devices used by the speakers to indicate linking between words, phrases, or classes, like which words can be linked to four acquired sentence and which sentence can be linked to four clauses that make sense. Syntactic linkage is governed by two traditional linguistic phenomena, that is, agreement and government, which show compatibility and relationship. The agreement is a form of reference that matches the value of some grammatical categories between different constitutives of a clause or between clauses. There are two types of agreements such as the formal agreement consists of grammatical structures and the fictitious agreement that consists of the meaning. For instance, you are students and you are students. Here the form of the verb is not determined by the form of the subject. Instead, it is determined by how we interpret the subject. The agreement has categories that usually originate grammatical agreements, and these are person, number, and gender. For instance, Maria is a student at the school, and in her classroom there is a teacher. And I am a student at the school, and in my classroom there are two teachers. The grammatical person in the first sentence we use is because it's the correctly verb be for Maria. And the second one we have the verb am, that is the correctly verb to be for the subject I. The grammatical gender we use in the first sentence here because it's the correctly possessive adjective from Maria, and in the second one we use my because it's the correctly possessive adjective from I. And grammatical numbers teacher and teachers in the second sentence because in the first sentence we have in singular and in the second one we use in plural because we have the number two. Government, and I would like to include the government in this explanation because I consider that is important to the linkage, the syntactic linkage. It refers to relationship between a word and it depends. In fact, the government is not widely used in English grammar, likely other languages. But I consider it is important because it explains the case in grammatical relationships of noun and pronouns with others. The government has case distinction in pronouns in English, such as the subjunctive or nominative, the possessive or germinative, and the objective or accusative. For instance, he can eat with me, where the subjective is he, the possessive is me, and the objective that is oblique object in this sentence. The importance of syntactic linkage in foreign communication. They point out which words go together as head and modifiers. That is, they indicate a syntactic link and that exists in each sentence. Another important is explain what kind of implied relationship exists between heads and modifiers. That is explain to us if they are relative clause or unique clause that are kept inside. And the most important syntactic linkage in current communication is that is show us the common sense and clarity of each sentence. In other words, the proper use of agreement and government, also not widely used, explain the meaning of each sentence that we want to express. It depends on the context in which we find ourselves. So the syntactic linkage studio makes us make no mistakes, and so we can sound clear and concise. Finally, here I have the bibliography where I could cite additional trust sources to explain my information on this topic. The first is an introduction to English synthetic syntax, which is the basic textbook. And the second is syntax and teaching grammar, which is the guidebook. Thank you for your attention.